Hello, everybody, to the That's not true. Hello, everybody, to the third home session of Dungeons and Drag Queens. I hope you're all doing well out there, still keeping safe and still playing D&D. I've said this last 2 times, but just to clarify once more, these home sessions are meant as sort of an intermediate D&D sessions between our big live shows. And in these home sessions, we're going to be driving the story further of the world and our heroes to show you what happens in between. Now, we've got a rather unique, isn't that true, Derk?
Yes,
a rather
absolutely.
unique session today.
Yeah, so we're sitting currently in this room. We're sitting in Freya's living room again.
Yeah, not with an entire party, but
we're sitting with 3 people in total.
Yeah.
2 of them are DMs.
And 1 is a player.
I think that's never happened before, like more DMs than players.
I feel super outnumbered.
Yeah.
I feel very alone on this side of the table right now.
You're the best served player ever.
Oh my god, you're the most attention a D&Der has ever gotten.
I know.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
It's because in front of us is sitting Iris, who is playing
Maru.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that happen?
Yeah. Can you elaborate on why Maru is now playing by herself? What happened to her?
She's dead.
Yeah.
She is dead.
I'm so sorry about that. So if you watch episode 1...
You're not.
When you watch episode 1, you might have seen that Maru died in the Witchlock. And during previous home sessions, we also paid some attention, actually a lot, to the fact that there is a death in the household of Lavorn. Now we're going to play...
if you haven't watched that, go watch it now, because it's amazing.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
So Iris, what do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. it's really hard to imagine what happens after death.
I don't know.
That's.
I personally don't know.
Me neither.
No.
Yeah, I know I go to trans heaven, but you guys have no idea.
Yeah. I don't know. I might visit you there someday.
Please let us in.
Yeah. We'll get day passes.
Trans Jesus never mind.
No, so we're going to be playing with Maru and Iris. To clarify, you have no idea what's going to happen, right? You're sitting in front of me a little bit confused, I think.
Yeah.
You brought your onyx, your obsidian necklace to block out our negative energy.
Yeah, I felt like I needed it.
Well, you absolutely do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you excited?
I'm a little apprehensive.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna shake that out of you.
Yeah. You know, in this scene, we're just this is combined storytelling, so we're just gonna be with the 3 of us, and we go with the flow. And
there's no wrong answers per se. No. But,
I'm already dead. What's the worst that could happen, really?
Exactly.
There you go.
So just to give you a short recap once more, and again, if you haven't seen our previous home sessions, please go do so now. We are taking off, of course, after the death of Maru. You, Maru, together with Eli, Ruddy, and Jessica, attended the Feast of Plenty at the Lavorn Mansion before our dearest Eli suddenly dropped to the floor unconscious in a blast of electrical energy. It appeared that Eli had entered what is known as a witchlock, a comatose state that witches and wizards may enter when they are under a prolonged burden of severe stress. With the help of Virgo and Margot Lavorn, who had performed rituals remedying these witchlocks multiple times during the witch hunts long ago, a period where you also knew them, and which you had seen them perform this ritual quite a bunch of times, you, together with Ruddy and Jessica, entered the mind of Eli to search his memories for the sinister knot that had to be untied. In the end, you'll manage to free Eli from the witchlock, but you paid the ultimate price in doing so, namely your life. As everyone awakened from the ritualistic sleep, everyone did so but you. And that is where we're going to pick off, as you're drifting in eternal darkness.
A twitch. First, from your left big toe. Then your right one too. Some of your fingers, they curl and they find a smooth surface underneath them. Through the hairs on your legs, you feel the fabric of a robe, which clings to your skin and carefully embraces your body. A small squint of your eyes is met with some resistance as you experience the soreness in your head as if you have slept days on end. You can slightly stare through your eyelashes, but oddly enough, you can't make out anything. Your Modri dark vision only shows a rippling surface right in front of you.
You hear a voice. It's quite familiar, but a little bit distant, as if covered by a wall of sorts. Such a shame. She had a lot of potential, but personality got in the way. Could have been a great witch. She'd, well, tried harder.
You think so? I never saw anything particularly special.
I agree with Margot. All those hours of scholarly work and then in the grave like this, honestly, it's quite pathetic. I guess so. Get to it, children. We must get to work again. No use dilly-dallying now. You recognize the voices of Ruddy, Eli, Virgo, and Margot Lavorne, though they're rather distant still.
Rippling surface. Is it clear?
No, you can't actually see anything beyond it, and it is very close to your face. Maybe, well, what is it? Maybe 6-7 inches.
I want to try and touch it. Is it fabric?
Yeah, and as you stretch out your hands, you feel the resistance of silk lining. Behind you can feel hard wooden planks. It's almost as if you are in a box.
I want to outstretch my hands even further.
Okay, and as you stretch out your hands further, it's definitely resisting, and the wood is creaking but not budging, and you go...
Stop pushing in dirt, dear. The sooner we have this done, the sooner we can get back to what we were doing.
And with dull impacts, you hear the wood creaking.
I want to try bang on the...
As chunks of earth fall on top of the structure in which you lie, and you bang with your fist on the wood.
Hello?
Make me a strength check or a athletics check, please.
That's a 5.
You hear no response to the banging on the inside, and you're banging to the sides, to the top.
It's almost as if you're banging, you're not making any sound. It's almost like you have no impact on this wood whatsoever.
And as you bang, you see that dirt is now falling a little bit through the cracks of the planks, and it's falling into the silk lining.
I'm gonna try and move my upper body up, see if I can get any movement.
Okay, there's about 7 inches of space, and you can move it a little bit up, but then you press yourself against the silk lining. I want you to make a Constitution saving throw as the air that you breathe in becomes thinner and thinner.
A 7.
Okay, that's unfortunately not enough, and you're definitely starting to run out of air.
I'm gonna see if I can focus enough, calm myself down, and move my hand enough.
Full shovels of dirt land
Sigil.
on the top. I want you to make an investigation check.
23.
So as you're screaming and you're pounding on the side of the coffin, you see that the silk, it's sort of unraveled at some parts, and it almost seems like it can be removed from parts of the coffin.
I'm gonna use my nail to rip it off.
With a tearing sound, the silk is torn from the ceiling of the coffin in which you lie, and you see wooden exposed planks and nails sort of haphazardly rammed into the coffin, almost as if the structure was very hastily built. Nails are sticking out near the sides, and some of the planks look more frail than others, as the pounding of dirt on the top continues.
I'm gonna wave my hand, do a sigil, and cast Thunderwave up through the lid.
You cast Thunderwave. I want you to roll damage.
8 damage.
With one great final push, you... The lid slams open. And suddenly, you feel that you lie on a hardwood floor. Do something! Come on!
Spare the dying! Spare the
It's not
dying!
working! It's not working! 3 people seem to be huddled over your body. A large woman in red, a green-haired man, and a curly blonde woman. You hear a high-pitched sound, and you see a flash of light, as the 3 people revert back in their original position.
Spare the dying! Spare the dying!
No! No!
I'm lying on the floor still?
Yeah, you're lying in the middle of these 3 people.
As they're huddled all over you, and Eli seems to be trying to cast a healing spell on you.
I want to try to grab Ellie's wrist.
Okay.
Ellie! What's going on?
As you go up, you see the scene revert back to its original point once more. Do something! Come on!
Spare the dying! Spare the dying!
No! And just as your hand reaches, who do you touch?
Ellie.
It slips right through his face. And all the people shatter into red dust as they dissipate from the room.
Just a clock?
Just the clock.
And
Empty
there's
room?
now nobody in this room anymore.
Just the living room table, the sofa corners that you know very well, the 2 staircases leading upstairs, but nobody that you know inside.
You just see small residues of this red dust lie everywhere now. It's like it's covering this entire place, but ever so slightly.
I want to pull my finger through the dust and see if it's...
When you touch the red dust, you feel a small tremble in your nervous system of your right arm, just as if you were casting magic, it would shoot out. Now it slightly pulls back in. You see that this is dust of a magical nature.
I need to find the others. I need to know if they're okay. And I'll make my way to the hallway.
As you start walking towards the staircase, suddenly from the right, you see first a pair of feet from the first floor and a dark-skinned woman with black hair that is up as her hand trails the armrest of the stairs.
You recognize this woman as Doretta Bosk, but slightly younger. Not as you would know her in her current age, but as she was when you first entered the Pill Academy, as you remember her fondly.
Professor Bosk?
She looks towards you as you slowly descends the stairs.
What's going on? Where is everyone?
Ah, splendid. There you are. I wondered when you would dig yourself out. Took you long enough, but I guess that matters not. This time is for the living. Excuse that uncomfortable scene from before, dear. Maybe I upped the drama too much on the dialogue. I just needed to know that you are not just another whiny pushover, as most witches seem to be nowadays. You got a spark in you.
She doesn't really say anything after that. She just makes eye contact and an awkward silence falls over the room.
What are you doing here?
I fished you out, girl.
Out of what?
You were drifting slowly further along the stream, and I noticed you like many others. But I saw something peculiar. So I fished you out of that stream and landed you here. You should consider yourself lucky. You're still dead, of course.
Dead. Still dead.
Dead as a doornail, dead as a map.
Oh no. Do you know what happened to the others? Are they okay?
I'm not
Ready.
sure.
Jessica.
I don't have a connection to your world in such a manner. These names mean little to nothing to me.
Who are you?
I am sorry for taking a form that might be close to your heart. I just wish not to ring any alarm bells.
I'm backing up a little bit.
Maru shuffles back and
Now. That's no way to thank me, is it?
You didn't answer my question.
I have gone by many names during the years, but you can call me Edith.
Oh, Edith. Okay.
And you are?
My name's Maru.
Beautiful name. It's Modri, is it not?
Yeah, Moji.
Haven't seen many of those come past here in a long time.
So, are you dead too?
In a way, perhaps I've always been. Things tend to get a little twisted once you're in here for a long time.
Hang on. I'm gonna make my way to the nearest window and look outside.
you look outside. You see the front garden, but there is almost around the perimeter. Normally you could see full the horizon. You see that there is a red mist, almost like the dust that is on the floor, circling around the perimeters of the Lavorn mansion. Definitely not the world that you know.
Oh, okay.
You're across the veil, sweetheart. The current, the stream. Many names have been given to it. Then again, it all ends up the same.
Are there any other people here?
Many, but not like us. When I fished you out, I saved you from a fate. One where you would not get to experience this place in between. Where we are now are tiny particles in a cosmic sea of magic flowing through everything. Normally you would have moved to join the cosmic wonders in the next plane. But I've decided to gracefully extend your stay a little longer. See what you make of it, what you choose. You now have the privilege of existing consciously in the ether, although the lack of, well, being alive, of course.
Hello everyone, we're taking a small intermission and I just wanted to let you all know that these episodes are made possible by our patrons over at patreon.com/DNDQNL, all letters DNDQNL. We really couldn't make this type of content if it weren't for those people backing us every month over at Patreon. Right now, everyone backing us on Patreon is getting shoutouts by their favorite characters from our cast, as well as receiving episodes early. So these podcasts that you're listening to now have already been available to Patreon users for a while now. Finally, our patrons always get a pre-sale so that they can be the first to get tickets for our new live shows whenever there's one available again. This way, they'll make sure they have a ticket because they always sell out so fast. So if you want to support the channel or help us further, or if you even just like the content that we're putting out in this way, please consider supporting us on Patreon because it really, really makes a world of difference. And to those already backing us on Patreon, thank you so much. You're amazing.
You look at your hand And for you, they sort of seem completely normal, and you can touch your own hands. You are definitely physical to yourself. So this is a strange sensation where most of your perceptions are actually quite the same as they were in the real world, but the environment around you definitely looks weird.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's a lot to take in, I understand. Most people respond that way. Though you are one in a million. The question is, where do you go from here? Where to? And what's your path forward?
This is strange. Would you excuse me for a second?
We've got all the time in the world.
Oh, great. I want to go to my office.
So you go up to your room, and
On the second floor, right?
your room is on the second floor to the right, and then the bottom room, seeing if you're standing in the front, at the front of the house. And your room is next to Ruddy's. And you arrive on the second floor. You take 2 staircases up, and within the house everything looks pretty much the same. The portraits on the walls are the ones that you remember. Some of the decorations, or the misplacement of decorations, as you often noted, still remain the same. And as you open the door to your room, you see Doretta Bosk following up the stairs behind you, now with a cup of tea in her hands. As you enter your room.
But I want to go to my other room.
You want to go to your secret study?
Yeah.
So as you go to your vanity in the middle of your room, you turn the mirror slightly, and there you see the button. The artifice button embedded in the wall. You push it?
Yeah.
As you do, you hear the slight trembling of the secret wall that slides open, and the trapdoor that is revealed as you once more, as very familiar to you, see the glowing purple arcane rune of Virgo Lavorn, who made the fabricate spell for you, twist over it slightly and then disappear as the way up is revealed.
I'm gonna go up.
As you climb the ladder, you slowly come to the small cupboard space upstairs. In this small tower, you see your desk, a tiny round window through which a little bit of sunlight comes in. You see your armoire with little knickknacks, and you see the single chair. And on the desk are all these documents, unfinished business, unread books.
You also notice the jewelry box in which you keep many possessions that you have gotten from members of this house.
There is a broken makeup brush, which used to belong to Jessica.
Oh, something wood carved from Ruddy.
Yeah, a wooden carving only slightly resembling a chicken, which was a birthday gift from Ruddy. A dried hydrangea flower, once found by Eli and given to you. The badge of Oliver's old school from Orzon, which he threw against the wall in anger. And a ring kindly forced upon you by Vanity, after she insisted on taking you on a shopping spree not too long ago.
This can't be happening. I'll kind of rummage through the box, pick some stuff up, pick up the badge and the makeup brush, try to take a few breaths, calm myself.
From down the ladder, you hear the voice of Doretta again, or what you think is Doretta, and says,
Take whatever you think will give you strength. You'll not come back here. I like your room, by the way. You might be the cleanest person I've ever met.
as you look back, as you hear small footsteps, then suddenly behind you stands, not too far away, but in the corner of the room, not intimidatingly, stands the form of Doretta Bosk again, sat in the chair. She just looks towards you and says,
Fate befalls us all, child. There's no need to feel bad about it. Witches live a dangerous life.
taking the box with all the stuff in it, and I'm assuming it's not too big.
Okay, you can take
No,
it in
it's
your
quite
bag.
small.
Putting it in my bag, I'll grab the candle and the incense that I have on my desk.
Okay, so as you descend down the ladder, you find your leather bag in which you store many items for adventures, and the jewelry box goes in, and some of the scented candles go in. And the room slowly and slightly changes color, as if a red overlay was put on the scene. From down the hall, you suddenly hear a whooshing sound, as the red mists from the illusion before glides through the door and slowly starts to clump together into various limb-like shapes, as claws come from the clouds, or a wing with a claw, or almost a paw from a dog comes out, and the cloud starts making these shapes and trying to figure out what it is.
It looks vitriolic, at the very least. It seems unstable, and as you see from the amalgam, this ooze-like contortion of this dusk, you see it trying to form multiple faces of animals, but it fails every time and then tries again with another face. Doretta then looks at you and says, "Oh, I did not expect for that to happen so soon. Better to get out of here."
Is blocking the doorway?
It is blocking the doorway back towards the hallway, and I also want you to roll initiative as it's finally found its shape. And a crimson red, still cloud-like, but definitely an alligator lands. It lands in the hallway.
Okay. 19.
Doretta looks at you and just yells, "Watch out for these things, child. They are harbingers of this place. Bad omens."
As the alligator makes a sort of guttural lizard-like sound.
You see the alligator just stepping like it's a Mexican standoff, ever so slightly, waiting for you to move.
I want to make my way to the cupboard. I'll use my movement to make my way to the closet.
Okay, so as you break eye contact with the alligator, you start sprinting towards the other side of the room immediately, and you rushly open up the doors as it opens, and you see definitely a few weapons there that you've kept there.
I should have a short bow, so I'm taking my short bow and
You
my quiver.
do. So as you take
And a dagger.
from the closet this beautiful oaken short bow, it's rather small, but it has these star and moon-like carvings around the, how do you call that again? Around the arms.
Mm-hmm.
So you take it from the cupboard, as the alligator is still looking at you, making these menacing sounds, now coming closer and closer.
Is there a window in my room?
There are 2 windows in your room, one near your bed that drops almost 2 floors down into almost like a paved ground, but there's also a window over here that actually has a birch tree next to it. The one that drops to the pavement, that is like a pretty high drop with a very hard surface, is near the cabinet where you're currently standing. The birch tree window would be on the side near the ladder where you actually came from.
Again, this is not it doesn't look like a green alligator. It's still this nondescript red dust.
Yeah.
It's like an imitation of life that you would know on the material world.
Every few seconds, it almost dissipates again and then finds its shape again as an alligator.
I'll cast my favorite and one of my very few useful spells, Vicious Mockery.
Can you give me dice?
Yeah.
Ooh, it does make it saving throw, so it takes no damage, right?
As you start shouting at it, the snarling continues as it lunges at you. The ferocity with which it dashes towards you, it's unexpected as it goes for you, and it rams itself into the cabinet next to you. It just goes for your legs, but you manage to step out of the way very quickly. It's back to your turn. But it's still now standing right in front of you. If you would move now, it's going to take an attack of opportunity.
I'll try stabbing it with my dagger.
So as you take the dagger, you have this monstrous creature in front of you.
13?
Hits. So as you stab it in the maw, it just opens up and you just plunge the dagger into it. You hear it whine in this sort of monstrous lizard-like way. But as you do this, it immediately tries to clap back as your hand is still within its reach. It manages to catch its teeth on the side of your arm and immediately you feel flesh being rended from it. And you get 4 damage.
Oh. That sucks.
So it's back to your turn. What are you going to do? As you're still trying to wrestle with this alligator, it's now wounded you severely, and you see now the wounds remain, but this red dust is left lingering over it.
I'll burn another spell slot and use my other hand to draw the sigil and cast Thunder Wave.
So as you push it back, first you see almost the body flailing and slammed against the wall as this thunderous boom of magic just slams the creature through the room, and then it dissipates into this red dust. And from downstairs, you hear more of the swishing sounds, maybe 5 or 6 times as much.
Doretta Knight pipes up and she says,
Might have been good to discuss this earlier, but you're here, well, illegally, I suppose. By withholding you from passing on, we are disrupting the current natural flow of energy. This is an anomaly that was attacking you. Better ready your magic. We might need to leave as soon as we can.
The stairs creak loudly as you hear a stampede of paws run up the ground floor.
Quick now, girl, we have to go. Will only be more.
You tell me that now?
You know this place. I do not.
I didn't know there were creatures going around. I'll use the back of my dagger, the hand part, to just burst the window near the birch tree.
Okay, so you cross the room again. Now you're next to the ladder. The bookcase closes again, or else it would be covering the tree. So as you push the button, the bookcase slides back and the window is revealed again. The window slams open and the little door slams open and a gust of wind knocks some of the makeup products on your from your vanity onto the immaculate carpet. A small bird flies in and starts pecking at one of the open lipsticks.
and you see now that as you slammed it open, part of the mirror of your vanity is now cracked from top to the bottom, all the way through it. But the way out is open before you.
Getting out.
Okay,
Climbing that tree.
then I want you to make an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics, that's a 4?
So as you reach
I'm
for the
horrible on my
nearest,
own.
as you reach for the nearest branch, you get it definitely. As you feel that your hands start slipping, and you try to regain your balance, and whoa, and you start falling through the branches. As you hit multiple layers of branches, you get 3 damage. As you eventually hit the ground with a soft foot, you do fall in the grass, but you've fallen from maybe 20 feet.
Oh.
As you look up slowly, you see the window there open again, and then standing or landing on the ground, you see Edith in the form of Doretta Bosk again, and look backwards towards you.
You lie on your back in the dry grass. As you look up in the window, you hear the gnarling and snarling from where you originally came out of your room.
And you see these creatures, monkeys, dogs, cats, tigers, all this stampede of red dust come from the window, and as they claw their way out of the window...
Time to move, darling. Let's make it fast.
Am I at the front of the house, the back of the house?
You're in the front garden.
Front garden. Front gate, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll beeline, make a dash for the gate.
Okay, I want you to make a perception check for me.
Perception. 19.
Oh, well, very good. You see many objects that you recognize from the front garden, various garden sculptures that Margot Laforne made, but there are 2 objects that you do not recognize in the garden that you know, and they're still too far away, and you can't quite make out what you are, and from the window start jumping into the birch tree, all these creatures as you're standing underneath the tree, and they are setting in a chase. What do you do?
This roiling wave of red dust as all these creatures' faces, almost bone-like visages of deers gone past.
12.
Huh?
12. It is just enough after you're running through the dry grass as it crunches under your feet. You see that in the front garden 2 coffins lay with the inscription, "A dark night."
and on the other,
The studious pair.
and Edith, in form of the Red Bosk, stand next to you, looking over your shoulder, curiously as to what's going on here.
Are they closed? Is the lid closed?
The lid is closed. You are still running through the garden. You're zigzagging through the garden sculptures as you're being chased. And sometimes the claws are almost catching the back of your robes as they try and pull you back in.
Can I see from here if the gate at the end of the premise is unlocked?
The gate is there, but you do see red mist behind the gate. The parameters of whatever this is do stop at that border.
Time to make a choice, girl, and make it fast. There's only forward.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
That's a saving throw. 19.
Oh!
A crimson swan comes clawing at you. Do they have claws? They have wings.
Yeah, they have wings and they beat you to shit.
You manage to duck as the wing of a crimson swan goes over your head. The pack is now almost caught up with you. You need to make a choice.
School is fun. I'm opening up the studious fair.
As you open up the lid of the coffin written studious pair, it opens up, and what do you do?
Can I see anything inside?
It
There
is
is
empty.
It's empty and there's only silk lining in it.
Hop into it and close the lid.
And
Edith
just in time,
hit a lamp here.
because in your hesitation, the group has caught up quite a lot. And as you close the lid, you hear this barrage of claws, of paws, onto the lid.
As they slowly dissipate and slowly become lesser and lesser of a sound until total silence remains.
Hey babes! Before you continue watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our D&Drag Patreon, where you can help us develop this crazy show further.